About a month ago my back went out, and then it sort of healed itself for a while. And then about a week and a half ago it really went out and it started to heal itself. And then this morning it went out again, so I'm not in the best of moods. But I wanted to put out a video just to take up the time. I'm so much in pain I can't stand it. So anyway, this issue is to do with my past. When I was in the military, I was in a unit that supported the Green Berets in the 70s during the Vietnam War era, and we were practicing rappelling out of a helicopter into a forested area and running off, capturing and coming back and being picked up with helicopters and flown back, and that was the mission. So we were practicing the rappelling part, and this day it was pretty windy out, but we were still doing it because the military has to perform in any weather and any condition. It's never, the conditions are never good if you are under fire. So anyway, we'd rappelled quite a bit, and it was getting on towards the evening, and it was myself and another guy. We rappelled. We were the first rappellers, and the way the military rappelled in the 70s was completely different than the civilians did. The civilians used carabiners at the time, and the way they ran the rope through it to rappel with. And you had a safety little rope that would, if you couldn't stop yourself, you let go of that and it would stop you. But in the military, there's no safety. So I was the first to go, along with the guy behind me. On the other side of the helicopter, you jump together so that the helicopter wouldn't get doing this. It's like a boat. You have to kind of balance it. You're giving the signal and you rappel, and then you go all the way down and you set up for the next guy, and you're the next guy's safety. If he can't stop the rappel, you have to stop it by pulling on the rope. Pretty simple. But helicopters, though you think they stay static when they're just like this, they're not. They're floating like this, especially the higher they are. They tend to float around, and we were doing a 100-foot jump, or a 100-foot rappel at the time, and the helicopter started to sway a little bit, and we waited, and it steadied out, and we jumped. We did our rappel, and we went down, and everything went fine, and I got the rope, and I was ready for it. The guy hooked on both sides, and they started to rappel. At the very time the helicopter decided to go far to the right and down. It got pushed far down and down. It got sucked down. And suddenly my rope went completely limp for about maybe 10 feet. So I immediately lunged for the rope, and it was sort of too late because the guy that was rappelling burnt his hand, couldn't stop himself, and by the time I got back to the rope and pulled on it, I slowed him down, but he still hit the dirt really hard. It made a thud sound. So the guy was coming down the rope. I jumped on the rope as fast as I could. The helicopter's going up and down, swirling. The rope is going up and down and being dragged to the side. When I got to the rope, I pulled it, and it did slow him down, but he hit so hard that I felt the ground thump, and he was unconscious. And the other guy got swinging, and his rope got tangled. So he was able to still get down, but he couldn't get off his rope. So it was a complete disaster. And unfortunately, the guy who came down my rope was taken to the hospital. And when people get hurt in the military, it's sort of hard to find information on what happened to him. But that day, there was an inquiry after we got back about what happened, which there always is when someone gets hurt. And I was questioned on what happened, and they said, well, because there were so many witnesses that saw it happen better than I did and backed up my story. But so there was no charges or anything done. But my point here was that poor guy was semi-paralyzed for the rest of his life. He gave his life for the country, and to this day he's still partly paralyzed. And it brings me back to the veterans And the people who are in the military, who give their life, you may not believe in war like myself, but at that time, people gave up, including myself, said, I'll go into the military. But to have a commander-in-chief ignore a briefing that said that there was a bounty on the soldiers of Afghanistan, here, U.S. soldiers, and he did nothing about it. In fact, he's doing nothing about it now. He is such a disgrace. He should be dragged out of the White House at this point. The disgust of this and the misinformation being pumped out about he wasn't briefed. He didn't get the briefing. Well, apparently he did get it in writing. Oh my. But of course he's going to say, no, it didn't happen. He didn't get it. It's one of those quirky things about the White House. But the disrespect for the people that gave their life. And people get hurt in the military, not just in battle. It happens in training as well. And they're just as important as everyone else and are part of the team. And when they get hurt like that, you remember forever. Oh boy, this thing is killing me. And so that's what my point is here, is that this piece of shit in the White House gets no respect from this veteran and never will. In fact, I won't be satisfied till his death comes, not too soon. I just hope it comes somehow, some horrible way, and he gets what he deserves. Mr. Bone Spur, lying sack of shit, no respect whatsoever to this country or the people in it, nor the world, nor wildlife. He just gives to the very wealthy and F you to everything and everybody else. It's all about him. Well, he wouldn't know what it's like to put his life on the line, ever. He's too privileged, darling, to possibly know what it's like to do such a thing. He has to go ride around in Air Force One and brag about how great he is and have people lick his boots all day. He's a disgrace, people. Why is he still in office?